That says it all, frankly. Sticking with 2016, an aide to former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton pleads the fifth in front of a congressional panel. It is a move that could prompt investigators to grant him immunity in exchange for his testimony about the presidential candidate's personal email server. Joining us right now is former governor and senator of Nebraska, Bob Kerrey. Governor, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Nice to be with you.
Hillary Clinton has been sliding in the polls. What is your observation of this scandal, and could it prevent her from being the Democratic nominee?
Well, to the second one, the answer is yes. I mean, the race has gotten a lot more competitive. Look, we have a federal law. It's called the Freedom of Information Act. And what that law does is it gives citizens a tremendous amount of power with the executive branch. You submit a FOIA request, and you get information about what your government is doing. It gives the citizen power. And I believe what the secretary did was to say, I want to do an end run around FOIA. I'm going to set up a server in my home. Nobody's ever done that before. Colin Powell didn't do that. It wasn't because she didn't want to carry two cell phones around. She's Secretary of State, for God's sake. She can give me the red one, give me the blue one. Who the hell cares?
Right.
She did an end run around FOIA, enormously important law for the citizen. It gives the citizen a tremendous amount of power. And by the way, it's never a good thing. I don't care who you are. If the FBI is looking at your hard drive, that is not a good fact to have if you're running for president of the United States.
What really strikes me, and I want to get your take on this. What really strikes me is the fact that she wiped the server clean. I mean, after all of that, after having the email server, but then erasing it.
No, Maria, if you're a government official, and the FOIA request comes in, and you wipe your server clean, you bring somebody in, and by the way, the guy that was handling it is out in Colorado, and he's taking the fifth. He's the one that's trying to provide security. Then she said, oh, don't worry about it. I got Secret Service guard in my house. Secret Service doesn't do cybersecurity. Physically guarding a server doesn't prevent it from being hacked. You're Secretary of State. You decide what the security clearance is going to be. You make a determination. Is this classified? It's not nobody marked it classified, so I didn't worry about it. You're the one that makes that decision. So the problem is it lacks credibility. I still think she's enormously competent. It's a tragic decision, and I think in many ways she's trying to set the ship right. But it's hard to do.
Yeah,
because at first it's hard to do because when you've got this memory of, I did it because I didn't want to carry two cell phones. That's not why she did it. She did it, in my view, because she didn't want to comply with FOIA.
And we know that because she wiped it clean. Kerrey, what are your thoughts?
Senator, you heard Bobby Jindal at the top of that clip saying that the Democrats are basically serving it up by keeping support for Hillary Clinton. First of all, is the DNC actually hoping Joe Biden gets into the race? I mean, what's going on behind the scenes with the DNC as it relates to what's happening with this whole...
Well, I wouldn't say that... First, I wouldn't agree with what Governor Jindal said. It's not exactly... I don't think that Trump and the Republicans right now are doing everything they can to get a larger number of the Hispanic vote, which they need. They're not going to win Cuyahoga County, Cleveland, with their message, and they have to win Ohio. They have to win Florida.
Right.
So actually, it's the other way around, in my view.
Okay, but does the DNC does the DNC hope that Joe Biden gets into this election? You know Senator Biden.
Oh, I don't think the DNC... First of all, the DNC is lots of people, and to use the word hope connected to a whole bunch of people trying to figure out what to do is, I was saying, misapplying the word. So I don't think they had the capacity, actually, to persuade Joe Biden to run. You saw what happened to him in Pittsburgh. He's deeply loved. The death of his son, I think, united Americans in this great moment of grief, which is terrible for him, but good for us in lots of ways. So people are feeling a lot of love to him. And it's you know, to put it in political terms, when he ran for president in 2008, he, Chris Dodd, and Bill Richardson got less than 1% of the vote. So he's polling at 13x what he did in 2008.
You think he's going to run?
I don't know. Look, he ran two successful campaigns. He was a part of a ticket that won in 2008. He was a part of a ticket that ran in 2012. And normally, under normal circumstances, the party would go to the vice president. They wouldn't go to the former Secretary of State. So, so you have an unusual set of circumstances. But I think, you know, it's very personal. I take what he said to Steve Colbert last night. If he's not 110%, if his heart is still hurting so badly that he can't do it, he won't do it.
You are a Medal of Honor recipient. You are a Navy SEAL. You were on the 9/11 Commission. What are you thinking about today on September 11th?
Well, you know, the country really rallied, and you know, the families who lost loved ones rallied and made certain that Congress set up the 9/11 Commission in the first place. And I would say Congress did most of the things necessary to get the job done. But what was quite moving then and now is what people on the private side have done. I mean, one of the things that oftentimes gets missed, particularly in the business world, with all the attention on what Wall Street did and didn't do in 2008. They've done more than any other sector of the economy to take care of veterans when they come home.
That's right.
Far more than anybody. I mean, if you look at what
from aid to giving them jobs.
Right. You look at what J.P. Morgan Chase has done, for example.
They've done such a good job,
Right.
J.P. Morgan.
Right.
In terms
so,
of giving jobs to veterans.
Look, Americans are enormously generous. We take advantage of our freedom in really good ways by giving ourselves, volunteering, giving our. Last year we gave away $400 billion. That's more than the GDP of all but 15 nations on Earth.
Wow.
So I think we've rallied to the cause. I think it made it clear why our system of government, why our freedom is important. And I think we've organized ourselves relatively well to keep the risk at a minimum. Never to zero, but at a minimum.
Good to have you on the show today.
Nice to be here.
Thank you so much. Governor Bob Kerrey there. Coming up, technology IPOs hitting a 7-year low. What's going on with tech IPOs? Could some big names like Uber, Square, and Airbnb soon turn things around? We're going to take a look at IPOs next. Thank you so much.